Yeah, yeah, you can just come there. Lovely. Right, okay. Oh, yeah, actually. When you're doing judo, what you've got to do is try and break balance. And although it's not so noticeable as in Aikido, you still got to break balance, or else you're making the job harder for yourself. This is why they take great armfuls of cloth and very firm grip, and in actual fact they're sort of pulling the guy as they're moving about. You can't really see it most of the time in free play. They're moving about, but you really sort of, once again, it's a sort of circular movement, because the left or the right hand is pulling sort of up, so he's coming from the balance off his heels onto his toes, and then his right hand is actually pulling up in a circle, so it all sort of reinforces it, that sort of movement, yeah, that sort of thing. When I turn, obviously I turn my back to him, but really what you're trying to do is try and pull him nice and close. You don't want any fresh air between you and the partner. And the other thing is, a little bit different from Aiki, what you're trying to do is get a little bit lower, so your hip's lower than his, because that's where all the work is done. He actually rotates about the hip, yeah? So we do this sort of thing, we're pulling in, and we throw him over, yeah, okay? But, yeah. But once again, there's sort of quite a difference between this and the Aiki, because I'm trying to get my hip lower, and I'm actually trying to sweep him with the leg and just drop him over, yeah? And if you do sort of a similar sort of technique, Ippon Shinagi, just square yourself slightly to your Kiku, that's it. And I go down, I'm actually throwing him once again over the hip, yeah? This is all by the request of Stuart, by the way. Particularly wanted it, the kids will receive it today, yeah? So we've got sort of one or two techniques. But unfortunately, as with Aikido, we sort of try and throw the bloke. The best we do is just knock him down. And what we do with Judo is very much so follow him down. We just don't throw him and get rid of it. Yeah. You haven't got really enough fat on you. Yeah, if you were better upholsterers. Yeah. So you've got to hold down. Now in Judo, you've got to try and hold him down for 30 seconds. So if you've just thrown him, what you try and do is, as you come down to a sort of groundwork position, you try and sort of compress his ribs. You don't break them. You try and compress his ribs as he's expelling the air. So he takes his air out, and then you're laying on him, so he now can't take a breath in. So he's getting short of air. It's just what's making his lungs. And you sort of just... Yeah. You try and compress him so that he can't take another breath of air. And you've got to stop there for 30 seconds while your wriggles are right. As he's wriggling, you of course can breathe perfectly normally, but he can't, and he's got to struggle to get out at the same time as he's wriggling. One of the ways he can sort of get out is by bridging. Yes, can you bridge? Okay, can you have something? Try and wiggle it. Yeah. So that's it. And the head is very handy for sort of giving you a nice point, an extra point, almost like your hands and your feet and everything else. You can sort of put it on the floor, try and get your hips off, make some space and everything else, which is why I'm holding him so his head isn't down. Yeah? Onto my knee there, nice position, which locks his head in. I'm not squeezing it at all. Just there. Try and keep his hand around you because you've got this cloth again. So you lock in, you lock his arm with your elbow. So I'm trying to keep my elbow to my own body. Nice open feet position like this. Head a little bit down because it is possible for him to come across like that and try and push me off. So I want to leave that open. So keep your head down there. And then really you can stay in this position, quite relaxed, for sort of 30 seconds. 25 seconds. If you score half a point from your throw, half a point from the hold down, 25 seconds, then you've got a full point. And in judo, that's the end of the competition. So it's all very simple. The only trouble is, groundwork, one of the things about groundwork is the person underneath. It's a lot of work, yeah, to get out and try and disturb you. For me, it's not. Yeah. Yeah, come on, look at it. Good. Just stay nice and relaxed. Yeah. And for him, it's exercise. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. And it's quite surprising when you've had somebody lie on you for a little bit. When they go off, you actually feel your ribs sort of expand again. Because they've been sort of pressing all the time. And they come up again. Spring back into their position. Have a little bit of struggle around on the ground just for a moment. Just a little bit of a warm up. And then